If you've ever wondered what the heck you actually said at the end of that party,
or wanted a do-over button for those cringe-worthy encounters,
then you've experienced what we call the joy of awkwardness.
I'm Mindy.
And I'm Bree.
And we're here to celebrate the awkward.
Embrace the awkward.
And remind you of one important thing.
You may be awkward,
but you're definitely not alone.
Well, that was awkward. Hi, Mindy.
Hi, Bree. Happy holiday.
Happy Independence Day.
Yes, happy Independence Day to our listeners. I hope you're listening to this at your barbecues.
Yes.
And your, what else do you do on July 4th?
Fireworks.
Yes, your day drinking. Fireworks. We are doing a special holiday episode today. Today's episode is called Fireworks because it's the 4th of July. And we are putting our listeners on blast.
I love this radio personality that's coming out of you, Mindy. Yeah, we believe in the power of little tiny awkward moments to build up and kick you in the ass. So today we are sharing listener stories. Some of our listeners have written in their awkward moments.
And some of our listeners have called in some small awkward moments. And Bree, as we know, those teeny tiny awkward moments can upend your day just as much.
So we're going to share some of the tiny little bursts of awkwardness stories that listeners have called in to us. Hey, so 4th of July is pretty awkward in and of itself for a lot of people. Dogs.
It's so horrible for dogs.
But Mindy, have you ever had any particularly awkward moments around the 4th of July?
I don't think so. We have a lovely tradition of going to our mutual dear friend's house, Bree. But I guess this is related to July 4th because it has to do with the national anthem and how I have zero respect or appreciation for hearing anyone sing the national anthem and putting their little specific like vibrato touch on it, like that whole "oh, say can you say sounds early that. Doesn't that get on your nerves?
Now every listener has left.
That's what they sound like when they sing it. I can't stand it, man. I ruin a good freaking baseball game. You know how much I love baseball games.
She doesn't love baseball games. I do love baseball games.
I like hot dogs. And I can't eat hot dogs.
Hot dogs are just a beautifully inherently awkward food. No way around
That's
it.
Right.
Speaking of food, the first caller's story actually happens at a bagel shop that's here in Charlottesville, where Mindy and I live, called Bodo's Bagel. Shout out. What's your favorite sandwich at Bodo's, Mindy?
Oh, Bree, I get really weird sandwiches because I love to have bursts of flavor in my mouth. So I get a really embarrassing order, which is like an everything bagel with tuna, melted Swiss, onions, horseradish, pepper spread, olive spread, hot cut, lettuce, tomato, just basically a whole trash disposal of food melted onto this bagel with the stinkiest cheese it's ever. And I'm so embarrassed whenever I order it that I always pretend to be reading it off of my phone and just pretend that I'm there to order for somebody else. For Dana. That's Dana's nasty bagel.
Dana's already making an appearance in this episode. Dana is the scapegoat for all of Mindy's awkward moments.
Yes, that's right. And I have met so many lovely Danas, but somewhere in my youth or childhood, I attached mischief with the name Dana. So Dana has always been my scapegoat. Bree, what's your favorite Bodo's bagel?
A dozen. That's what I do. I just get the bagels. I go home and I make the sandwich. But I have to say, your order is embarrassing. But I think that the story that we're going to hear from listener number 1 may be even more embarrassing.
Okay, so there was one time I was going to Bodo's and I noticed at the same time I was pulling in, this new white Camaro pulled up, and I love a Camaro. Camaros are beautiful, beautiful cars.
Yes, they are. Bree, do you know that a Camaro, or at least some Camaros, they have the same chassis as a Cadillac?
Remember when I used to have my grandmother's old Cadillac?
A
Yep.
Cadillac is just an old lady Camaro.
Glad to know that I sort of drove a Camaro.
And I parked the Camaro parks. Out of the Camaro walks this badass sister. Dark skin. She got her hair done, nails done. She wearing a dress that don't fucking quit. She got some heels on that don't fucking quit. She looks too fucking good to be going somewhere like some goddamn Bodos. So me and my friend who I'm meeting at Bodo's were in line next to this gorgeous woman who is like dressed for like the BET Awards. Too fine. And I got to stand next to her like the whole time. And I'm doing my absolute best to be a gentleman and strictly talk to my homie that I'm with. She takes her order. My friend takes their order. I take my order too. And now I got to walk by this girl again. So now I got to say something. So, I said, excuse me. I don't know where you're going, but wherever you're going to go, you going to kill him. She said, thank you. I'm just coming back from a funeral. So that happened. And I was, yeah, that happened. And all I could say was, I'm very sorry for your loss. And you still look amazing. And I walked off. And that's probably my most painful moment of 2024.
Oh.
What a wonderful compliment. Wherever you go, you're gonna kill him. And you just happened to drop that one at the wrong moment, man. That sucks because that is such a great line. That is such a great line.
It's such a great line.
So good. This caller, you know what? Serendipity was not with them. It was the wrong time. It was the wrong place. It was the wrong moment, but that is a great line. That is so much better than the usual pickup lines, which have now devolved basically into, look at your tail, I want to mate with you. So I'm really grateful that somebody out there is game. Oh, man. Dana could not have gotten me out of that one.
We have another call. The next caller actually phoned in response to episode number 1. It's a response.
This is a
call.
Conversation now. I love it.
So this is from what you may remember as the vibrator episode. Well, this listener really connected with that episode. Here's what she had to say.
So this is a story of awkwardness that was never acknowledged, never discussed. My freshman year of college, my friends thought it'd be funny to give me a vibrator, a blue, smooth vibrator for my birthday. It was really embarrassing and I didn't know what to do with it. So, I did as anyone would do. The batteries were in it. I put it in a sock and, put it in my underwear drawer. Now, when it came time to move out of the dorms for the summer, I moved all my stuff home. I'm packing and there it is. So what do I do with it? I sock it behind my bookcase and then I promptly forget about it.
I've never heard of putting it in a sock before. That's genius.
And then forgot about it. That definitely sounds like something that would happen to me.
Uh-huh. Oh, God.
Fast forward to the next year, and my parents have decided to change my room into another bedroom, specifically one for my newly adopted brother. And so they've moved everything out of the bedroom, including the bookcase. And at that moment, I realized that they have found the vibrator.
Did the baby get it?
They never said anything. I never said anything, but there's this awkwardness of knowing that my parents, when they were moving shit around, they came across a sock with a blue, fully loaded vibrator.
Fully loaded.
And it's not so much that you had a vibrator, it's not so much that it was fully loaded, but it was so smooth.
Well, this continues a little bit.
And this, my parents were very conservative.
Oh, no.
No sex before marriage, and actually masturbation is a sin. So, there's that too.
Okay. It's awkward enough to have your parents find your vibrator.
Oh, my
It's
God. Oh,
way
God.
awkward. It's for conservative parents.
Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. I don't blame her. I would not have. It's like she's playing chicken with her parents to this day.
Yeah. Do you think they'll ever bring it up?
Nope, I'm not. I wouldn't. Not, nope, absolutely not. I am a
You're-
precious, perfect little girl.
You know what, though? I wonder if her parents knew what it was, because they might not have known. They
Oh,
might have thought it was
oh.
a magic wand, or they might have thought that it was,
Which is not okay if you're conservative. Wiccan materials.
or
Hopefully they didn't give it to the baby.
they might have thought it was a back massager.
Or a sock holder. So your sock doesn't lose its shape. I could have used Dana on this one.
How would you use
Yes.
data on this one?
Well, it's hard because I can't say that it was a vibrator because they were conservative parents, but also I could say that Dana left her toe stretcher in the house behind the bookcase, and do they know where it is? So, listener, thank you for that story. And hey, maybe you're with your family today grilling up some wieners for America. If you are with your family, it might be a great time to say, hey, did you ever find Dana's blue smooth toe stretcher? Let me know how that goes.
Okay. All right. So I have another awkward moment today. And Mindy, I think you're going to like this next message because it's an awkward classroom moment.
Oh boy.
Okay, so my super awkward moment. I'm an elementary school art teacher and I teach kindergarten through 5th grade. I also carry a lot of shit around in my purse. So it was the first period of the day and it was my 5th graders. And I'm at the computer just, catching up on some emails, waiting for them to arrive. Thought I had the classroom all set up, ready for them to go. And they come inside and this girl points to something on the floor and she goes, "What's that?" And I turn and look and it's my leopard print thong underwear in the middle of the floor. And I'm trying to get there before she gets there. It's like that moment when you're in a dream and you're trying to move really fast, but you can't get there in time. And so she gets there first and with her foot kicks them up in the air. And the whole class goes, "Panties!" And I was just like, oh my God. I was literally just dying inside. So I just go over to the panties and pick them up, like, no big deal. And I was just like, ew, gross. How did these get here? And I pick them up with my thumb and pointer finger and just throw them in the trash. And it took a little while for the class to settle down. And I just moved them along like, nothing happened here. Well, at the end of class, after they left, went to that trash can and retrieved them because they're my favorite pair of underwear.
Legit.
And I don't know why my underwear was in there. There could be various reasons. Maybe I was teaching yoga and decided I didn't want to wear my underwear. Maybe I had a good time one night and knew that they had to get it washed. I have no idea. But anyway, that was super awkward. And from now on, I'm pretty careful about what's in my purse. And I guess the universe just decided to leave them in the middle of the floor so I could share this awkward moment with you all.
Thank you, universe. Oh my God. You know, Bree, that I've had panties appear in weird places for innocent reasons.
Well, I'm so glad that caller called in that story so that you know that somewhere out there in the anonymous ether is another person who is a lot like you.
Oh my God, though, can you imagine in this classroom? I think, you know what? If I were an art teacher, I would have, I have the gift of hindsight, of course, but I would have been like, those aren't panties. It's a hat. Or isn't it? Do you know that famous picture of a pipe and it's called "This is not a pipe"? Sissy Napalm Peep.
Sure.
Peep, or something like that. I would do that, or like introduce them to Duchamp's urinal that day. Like, is this art? Are these panties? Is this a hat? Shut up. How great is it that you went back and got him out of the trash, though, too?
I would do that too. I would definitely do that. All right. Are you ready for the next call?
Yes.
So the next caller is not actually anonymous. This call was in response to a Facebook post that I did about awkward moments with celebrities. So this awkward moment is from my friend Russell. And Mindy, you actually know who he is because he's the co-host
Harmony's Russell.
He is the co-host of the Finding Harmony podcast. When I first started listening to Finding Harmony about a year ago, I really felt like this is going to be so boring because I think yogis take themselves really seriously. This was my preconceived notion.
Thank you.
Yeah. But Russell has a great sense of humor and he's always getting up in there and mixing it up.
They crack me up when they're together.
Yeah, I call Russell the Will Arnett of the Ashtanga yoga community. And that's not just because he lives in Canada. So here is a message for us from Russell.
Hi, Bree. This is Russell. This must have been about 2008, and I was visiting New York to see Eddie Stern.
Is that Howard Stern's brother?
I don't know, actually. They could be related. I don't want to assume that they're not, but Eddie Stern is a big wig in the yoga world. So he wrote this book that actually, Mindy, I think you would really like. It's called One Simple Thing, a new look at the science of yoga and how it can transform your life. Guess he wanted to go see the guy who's writing that book.
Oh, cool.
I was practicing Ashtanga yoga at his shala. I put my mat down.
A shala is where they study yoga.
I just assume if it had a name like that, that's where they studied yoga. So I was going with it.
Started my practice, and I was aware very quickly that Willem Dafoe was just to my left. Mike D
Ooh,
was in front of me.
Willem Dafoe. Where do our listeners know Willem Dafoe from? I know him from Batman.
I think it was Spider-Man. I don't know. I get them
yeah.
all confused. Willem Dafoe was in one of my favorite movies, Poor Things. And he was also...
Who was he in Poor Things? Oh, he was the mad scientist.
He was the mad scientist in Poor Things.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, he's been acting a lot. He's like a classic.
He also happened to be in a movie that is very fitting for this episode, Born on the 4th of July.
Was he? No, he wasn't Lieutenant Dan. Who was he?
That was Forrest Gump.
Oh.
I've never seen Born on the 4th of July.
I've seen it with Tom Cruise in a
With Tom
wheelchair.
Cruise.
I remember that. And who's Mike D? It sounds like a DJ.
I don't really know, but I think he's a personal development coach, or he could be the former CEO of the San Diego Padres, or he could be the co-founder of Pickleball for America US Open Pickleball Championships. Thank you, Google.
Either way, what a classy room Russell is doing his yoga in. Oh my God, I would be fangirling like crazy.
So let's see what he says.
I put a little bit of extra juice in my practice.
Yeah.
I was doing this posture, Nakrasana, which is the crocodile posture. And I put a little bit more into it. I was a big jumper anyway, and just jumped all the way across the room, jumped all the way back.
Little flex.
Here you go,
And I
Willem
heard
Dafoe.
And I heard him, like, just, audibly, whoa. I heard him say that, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Maybe I'll say something to him.
If you had been doing yoga next to Willem Dafoe and he had said, whoa, what would you want to say to Willem Dafoe?
Oh, because he said I might say something to him.
Yeah.
If I had done something amazing in yoga and Willem Dafoe said, whoa, what I would say to him is, hey, why don't you invite me to your pool party this weekend? Wasn't that enough?
So we'll see what happens.
We'll see what he asks him.
And I went into the changing room with him, and I saw him, and we made eye contact, and I went up to shake his hand. And right when I shook his hand, his pants fell down. And it was just me and my hand and his dick.
Green Goblin.
So we just decided to skip it.
Oh,
I bet you did.
He literally got cock-blocked from that pool party he was going to get invited to. By the Green Goblin.
All right. Thank you, Russell, for sending in that story. The next call came in response to your story, Mindy, about leaving a sandwich on top of the car in episode
Me?
2, I think it was.
There's another sandwich rescuer?
We'll see.
Hello, Mindy and Bree. This is Denise.
It's
Sorry.
nice.
I think you were screaming so loudly that your microphone actually cut you off.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Hi, Denise.
For the listener who doesn't know, Denise is part of our trio. She is too busy to be on the podcast, but apparently she wasn't too busy to call in.
And too busy to call me back, but that's all right.
Calling in with an awkward moment for you.
Oh boy.
So one day I was driving to work and I was coming up to an intersection, had a stop sign. And at this intersection, there happens to be a private school to the left, elementary private school. And as I was approaching the stop sign, I saw this woman who I decided was some kind of teacher from the school.
How did she know that? She's probably wearing her JCPenney's. God, I hate my teacher clothes. They do not represent who I am.
I guess it seems pretty reasonable that a woman outside of the school, I might think she would be affiliated with the school somehow.
Yeah, especially if she looked really tired and underpaid.
She was running towards me in a car with such a look of horror and panic on her face. And I just thought to myself, girl, this is it. Denise, you have got to be ready. You have got to be ready to help this woman. You don't know what you're walking into. You got to be ready to go into that school. You got to be ready to take somebody down, put your body in the way of danger.
Our friend Denise is so brave.
This is her moment. What is she going to do? Oh, God, but it's an awkward story, Bree. She's going to end up giving mouth to mouth to somebody she shouldn't.
We'll find out. Let's see.
You've got to help these kids. You've got to help this woman. And I rolled down my window. I'm like, what's wrong? And she's like, you have a coffee cup on top of your car. I just stood there staring at her. And I didn't give her the response she wanted either. I wasn't really grateful. I was like, oh, okay. And I think sometimes a reversal of expectations can be a really awkward moment.
Oh, man, she was ready to save the day. Denise thought she was going to be on the news that night, didn't she? Oh, wow.
She did. But I am just so proud of a friend who would run into a school and take care of whatever needed to be taken care of.
That's one of 1,001 reasons that we call Denise our friend. Oh, God, that would disappoint me too.
Yeah.
I love that her reaction wasn't, thank you. It was like, oh, I was just trying to slip on my Wonder Woman tights and get my headband straight. Just getting my lasso out of the glove box, but oh, all right, thanks.
Plus, there's no coffee left in the cup, you know? It's like,
There's no God. There's a Tina Turner song that reminds me of Denise in this moment, Brie, but I can't sing it.
you can't sing it.
Tina Turner was wrong, Denise. We do need another hero, and it's you.
Now we have a call that I haven't listened to yet.
Oh.
But I do know that it came from Kayla.
Oh, yay, Kayla.
Yeah, you're Kayla. You know what I always think about when I think of Kayla? I'll tell you.
Well, I'm going to tell you.
When she graduated from college and she was moving somewhere, she was clearing out her apartment and had all these things that were in the donation pile. And she was like, just take them. And you, being a very good friend, scoured that donation pile and found a pair of shoes that were my size. And those shoes are my favorite shoes. So every time I think of Kayla, I think of these awesome red clogs that I got from her.
I think of these awesome bike shorts I got.
Ooh,
Yeah.
those are really nice.
That was really nice of her.
They're your color too. So let's hear what Kayla has to say. I'm so excited. How sweet of her to call.
I know. What is her little moment going to be?
Hey Bree, hey Mandy, it was great to see you the other day. Bree, I hope you're enjoying those great red clogs you got from me when I went through that stage.
You know, I was like, I don't know, 20, and I was like, I'm never gonna wear high heels again because I was in my boy phase. But hey, I was wondering actually if I could get those back because now I'm back in the red clog stage. So let me know. Good luck with the show. Bye.
Well, Brie, your time is over.
Oh, man.
Oh, you know what, though? Like, I'm glad her red clog phase is back. I have learned my lesson when I graduated from college, when I got married, when I had children. I got rid of all this stuff. I was like, I'm no longer that person anymore. I'm a matriarch, or I'm no longer this person anymore. I'm a career woman. I have so much good stuff that I have released into the universe that I miss so much. So I'm glad she could find those red clogs. Right, Brie?
That's right. The Kayla giveth and the Kayla taketh away. Seriously, there's something kind of fun about giving the shoes back. It's like they've had 3 lifetimes. I've had some great adventures in those clogs, and I hope that they help her find new adventures as she moves forward. Plus, it's an excuse to get a new pair of shoes. So, hey, listeners, thank you so much for calling in with these amazing stories. It was so much fun to hear them, talk about them, think about them.
We pledge allegiance to you. Hey, listener. Bree, after our recording yesterday, sent me a voice message that is pretty awkward, and I think you're going to want to hear it. It might be the biggest firework of them all. Enjoy.
Okay, so I have an awkward moment from today. I thought I was losing my mind I did lose my mind in our session today. I couldn't think, I couldn't focus, I couldn't figure out what was going on. I felt slow, I felt fuzzy, I felt foggy, I felt nauseated. I was like, what the hell? I was feeling good an hour ago. I was ready for this. I felt like I could handle anything. So then I thought, okay, what did I do between the Celsius that I had an hour before we started and the time that we started? What did I do? I was like, I took my little energy CBD. So I have 2 kinds of CBD that I order from Los Angeles. One is in like a deep blue purple box, and that is my sleepy time one. And then I have one that's in a yellowish orange box, and that one has just a little bit of CBD and caffeine in it. So I was like, I'll pop one of those. It's like my party CBD. So I won't be stressed, but I'll be energized and I'll feel really good. So I got the orange box. It was a new one. It had just come in. So I opened it up and I popped one, and then I went into our meeting and I started to feel crazy. So I was like, what the hell? What can be making me feel this awful? So I went back and I looked at that box, and it was not my little 5 milligrams of CBD and caffeine. It was 5 milligrams of THC. And I can't do THC. I can't do that shit. Like, I was fucking high. That's all that was wrong with me. I was high. I just had to sleep it off. I don't like that feeling. That's ick. Ew. So anyway, I apologize once more for showing up to work completely faded. And I know you saved these voice messages, so now you have, collateral.
Oh, Bree, you inspire me to sing. So if you need some CBD, make sure you don't take THC. And if you do, please leave a voice message for me. I'm going to head over to Bree's now and take her some chips. Well, that was awkward.
This has been an Awkward Sage production.